Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ensemble on Cable 14. I'm your host, Jamie Tennant, and let me tell you a little bit about the show if you haven't tuned in before. What we do is we take 4 singers and songwriters from Hamilton or with a Hamilton connection or from the area. We bring them down to the studio, we give them a common theme, and we let them share songs and stories based around that theme, and they share them with you, they share them with me, they share them with one another, and it's kind of a good time. Thanks for joining us on the show. Today's theme is Little Planet, Big Problems. So I'm sure we all can kind of relate to that. And certainly watching the news nowadays, or I guess any days, it was no different a long time ago either, was it? We have 4 great guests tonight. We have Lionel Lodge, Andre Bisson, Annette Haas, and we have Jay Linden over here on the end. Last but certainly not least, Jay. And welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Good to have all of you. We're going to start over here with you, Lionel. Now, our theme is Little Planet, Big Problems. Speaking of the planet, you've lived in a bunch of different places. And you were born in the UK, correct?
I was born in Scotland, up in the Highlands. Yeah.
Okay, whereabouts?
Right up in the north.
What?
I only claim to be Scottish if I'm talking to somebody who doesn't like the Scottish.
I'm Scottish, so...
Besides, I was only there for about 3 weeks.
Okay.
Right, but we lived in England at the time then.
You spent some time in Austria, too.
A long time.
Now,
yes.
what prompted a move to Austria?
Yes, good question. Jeez, I was living in Granada in Spain, and I was doing little shows, little cafe shows and stuff, and basically having a good life. And this guy started coming around and coming to my shows, and we hang out afterwards and have some beers. And he was from Vienna. And one evening, when my subconscious must have been very open to suggestion, he said, "You should go to Vienna. They'd like you there. All right? They like your music." 2 days later, I got off a bus in Vienna.
They must have liked you okay because you stayed for
10 years.
10 years,
I figured
that's right.
6 weeks, 2 months, and then I was going to go to Berlin. Right? I just sort of stopped to see what it was like. No, it was great.
Well, you obviously liked it there too, then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a funny thing though, because you know you're a long ways away, so I was more unique than a lot of the local people. I think I got a lot of my gigs just because I'm from Canada.
Sure.
Right, and so it was very active. It was really good.
Cool. The first song you're going to play for us tonight, if my information is correct, is "See It for Ourselves." Is that right?
See It for Ourselves.
What is that song about? How does it fit in with our theme this evening?
Well, yeah, Little Planet, Big Problems. You know, it's where do you start with that, right? Little brain, big ego. Maybe that's a place to start. You know, have to see our mistakes, see who we really are, see our potential for ourselves. You know, the only way we're actually going to get out of here, out of all these problems that we have, is if we actually, grassroots people, actually start thinking. I don't want to insult anybody, but we do a lot of not thinking. And yeah, you know, it's all over the board, like you were saying earlier. It's quite something these days that we have so many problems, we have so much communicating these problems, and we still can't fix it. Yeah. Right? And sometimes it takes, you know, people don't believe that the tidal wave's coming until they can see it. Sometimes it takes actually seeing it for ourselves, and sometimes it takes seeing our greatness. We don't believe how great we are until we actually see an example in front of you. Go, wow. All right, so that's actually what this song's based on.
Whenever you're ready, take it away.
Okay. It's hard to find peace by going to war. We can knock them down and drag them out. Imposing belief just breeds more doubt in ourselves. One thing I see is right, is the desire for wings that gives to fly. Just open it up and let it sing. Nobody knows what the children will bring. We're the way, we're the promise, we're the ones that can deliver us, but we have to see it for ourselves. We're the way, we're the promise, but we have to see it for ourselves. One thing I see is clear, just being here will get you there. Taking the time to let it shine, bending those rules and crossing those lines in ourselves. One thing I see is a blast. Tomorrow's not here, but it's coming fast. Gonna rip right across the autumn sky. Coming over the horizon, you can hear it fly. We're the way, we're the promise, we're the ones that can deliver us, but we have to see it for ourselves. We're the way, we're the promise, but we have to see it for ourselves. One thing I see is straight. It's hard to find love when you harbor hate. The boy, he grows into the man, still trying to grasp what he can't understand. We're the way, we're the promise, we're the ones that can deliver us, but we have to see it for ourselves. We're the way, we're the promise, but we have to see it. We're the way, we're the promise, we're the ones that can deliver us, but we have to see it for ourselves.
Nice. Thanks, Lionel. That was great.
Very much.